still a young adult. I have a lot of anger. I have a lot of emotions, so I put all that into the bar, and when I lift the bar, you know, it's just power, power, power. Can you make me seem aggressive? Obviously, from past the accident, you know, all those things that happened to me, it still gets to me. Along the way, like, the anger kind of becomes into something positive, because it helps me push the bar, break the bar, as we say. The aim is showing that people with disabilities are kind of the same as people with able bodies. We can compete, we can, you know, do sports. We're all the same, but in our own unique ways, you know. Any sport, it can be your sport if you put your mind to it. You fight hard enough for it, it's yours.
On we go, and it is the men's final here in Dubai on the last day of the Fazza World Cup. So here are the teams. There are 5 of them, and we start off with Chile, Herbert Leighton, Javier Jimenez, and Juan Carlos Garrido. So Herbert Leighton, Javier Jimenez and Juan Carlos Garrido are the 3.
Let's meet our next team, Team United Arab Emirates.
So now the host nation, the United Arab Emirates, and the 3 that we have in here are Fahad Mohammed, Adel Shanbi and Mohammed Khalaf. So these are the 3 for the UAE. So, Saudi Arabia have got 2 teams here. This is Team 2. Adnan Nur Saeed, Ibrahim Mustafa and Muteb Abu Adhayan.
The second Kingdom of Saudi Arabia team.
So, Saudi Arabia 1 coming now. They're coming out in reverse draw order. So it is Yahya Bawab, Saeed Hassawi and Nasil Al-Hassawi, who are the three representing Saudi Arabia 1. Well, definitely there will be a Saudi Arabian team, at least one in the semi-finals and maybe two. And now Colombia, Juve Mondragon, Connie Morales and Eglaine Mena. The America's champion, Eglaine Mena, and Honey Morales. Honey Morales, who finished in 5th place in his final. So now the referee's draw comes up. And here they are. Natalia Sky, Kazakhstan, Mohammed Imam of Egypt and Fatih Shahab of Libya, and the technical controller is Noor Sayaheda Matshah of Malaysia.
No, never. العقل السليم في الجسم السليم. Our power is coming from our mind. When I just going to lift the weight, I think like a challenge in my mind between me and the weight. I just look at the bar and I say my target to beat you right now, and I will. I love my sport because my sport changed all of my life. Now my career is 18 years. I started from 2006. I have been participated in 4 Paralympic Games, and the sport is not for me. The sport that I like, powerlifting, is just to compete. I will keep competing.
Is that all you got? Yeah. I only got one question. So is that all you got? You go big or stronger? You push harder? Is that all you got? You climb higher, faster? So is that all you got? You put your best and the rest in, no resting. Is that all you got? So you a victor? I only got one question. So is that all
So here we go. It is the men's team final. These are the heats. Colombia, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates and Chile are the 5 in this.
Welcoming our first athlete to the stage, representing Chile, Israel.
So there's quite a few strong teams in this, quite a few medalists from this week. And we start off with Chile and Heber Leighton, who's going for an attempt of 95. And this will be worth a total of 81.21. Finished down in 11th place in the men's 49 kilo final did Heber Leighton. New lifetime best of 105. Needed 3 attempts to take it, and he took it. And here he is, Heber Leighton, ready at 95. The America's silver medalist in June, and he gets this. It's a good lift. It's 81 points for Heber Leighton. 81.21 for Chile. Decent lift, and not to worry about it. So Leighton scoring 81. Adnan Nur Saeed is coming up now for Saudi Arabia 2, and this attempt is 140 kilos. This is worth 117.5 points for Adnan Nur Saeed for Saudi Arabia. He won Group B in the men's 49 kilo final. Finished in 6th place in the overall standings. So Adnan Nur Saeed for Saudi Arabia, 140 worth 117 points. This would be the lead, and he has produced it. He won the total gold in the Asia Oceania Championships this year in Pyeongtaek back in June, and Nur Saeed has put Saudi Arabia, their second side, into the lead here. So next to come, the man who finished 7th in the 72 kilo decider, and he's with Saudi Arabia's A team. It's Isil Al-Hassawi. An attempt of 146, so round by round we are going up in terms of weight, but you can randomised the order that the entrants are going in, so it doesn't have to be in ascending order on a team-by-team basis. We've seen Colombia do that. Jessica Ferrero in the middle lift for them, for the women. It's worth 101.69. This will put Saudi Arabia's first team into second place. Saudi Arabia would be 1 and 2. Barry 7th in the 72 kilo final. 20th in the World Championships last year. His best World Championships finish was 16th. He finished 7th in the Asia Oceania Championships last year. Ali Al-Yami would be his regular coach. Now that would go down very well over here. Azil Al-Azawi, 146, worth 101.7. And that is a good lift for Azil Al-Azawi. So Saudi Arabia have taken the top 2 spaces. Al-Azawi's side are in second spot right now, behind Saudi Arabia 2. They lead Saudi Arabia 1. Although I'm not sure we could interpret anything in terms of the numbers allocated to the Saudi squad. It is much of a muchness. Decent lift. So Saudi Arabia's second side lead on 117.5. Saudi Arabia's top side 101.69. Chile in third and 81. They've all had their first attempt. United Arab Emirates are up next through Fahad Mohammed, who finished 8th in the 97 kilo final, and he's attempting an effort of 165 here. (102 points), and that would put them by a third of a point into second place, ahead of Saudi Arabia 1. Saudi Arabia 2 are way clear of everyone right now. So for 102, pretty much exactly 102, Fahad Mohammed with a very strong lift. It is a good lift as well, 2-1 in his favour. And Fahad Mohammed, who finished 20th in the World Championships last year and 8th in this year's Asia Oceania Championships, he puts the UAE into second spot. 102.01. You'll see in a moment how tight the margin is between them and Saudi Arabia's number 1 side. Going to be quite a bit of congestion in the table. You can see how tight it is between the UAE and Saudi Arabia. To make it even more congested, an attempt for them, for Colombia, worth 112 points to go into second spot. Hoover Mondragon, who finished 4th in the 88 kilo final. Lifted 187, he missed out to Adel Shanbi of the UAE by 1 kilo. Started on 175, finished on 187. He won silver in the total lift behind Shanbi, who got all 3 of his marks as well. So this is 175 kilos. It is worth 112.84. And it is Carmen Zuluaga who's on stage with him. Jefferson Taffarel watching behind. Hoover Mondragon in his first international event, former athlete. He's had a good week, almost got a bronze here. Missed out by 1 kilo. Aiming to get Colombia into the semi-finals here to put them into second place. That is 3 white lights, and that is what he has done. And all the lifts have been good. 175, the heaviest attempt we've seen so far. It will get higher. Well, it's not in terms of the weight, it's in terms of the points. And that was an exceptional lift. And I think Carmen was very pleased as coach in the corner to see what he had produced. And that went very well. So the lead being held by Saudi Arabia 2 at the moment on 117 points, 0.5. Colombian second, 112.8. UAE third, 102.01, with Saudi Arabia's first team in fourth at 101.69. So they're only 0.32, not even a third of a point down right now. So Chile are the first to go in this second round of lifting, and attempting 130, it's Javier Jimenez, who finished 7th in the men's 54 kilo final. The America's bronze medalist in St. Louis in July, 4th in the previous Americas in Bogota in 2018, and 5th in the last Para-Pan Ams in Lima in 2019. So Javier Jimenez in now, a lift worth 130 kilos, and once everything is put together, it's 107.51. So this would put Chile onto 189 points. They would obviously lead for a bit, but they were 5th at the end of the opening round, as you'll see. Everybody on that scoreboard with 1 lift each. Javier Jimenez comes now. So Javier Jimenez for 130 for 107.5 points, and that is a good lift as well. So Chile are keeping themselves competitive, and that is all right now that they can do. A really, really good lift by Javier Jimenez. So on we go. Saudi Arabia 1. Now drop into 5th spot, but don't worry about that just yet. Saeed Hassawi will be next up for them. Saeed Hassawi going for 140. This is worth 88.14. Which isn't a major amount of points, in truth. Finished down the way in the men's 88 kilo final. 8th in the end, he lifted 151. This for 140, this for 88 points. So Saeed Hassawi ready. The man from Mecca has a good lift. And that keeps them with their heads above water for now. They go on to 189.8. They're at the moment in the lead but there are still 3 more countries to come. No misses yet. Here comes Oni Morales, who finished 5th in the men's 49 kilo final. 144 was his lifetime best coming into it. He broke that with 146, so he's going here for 140, which by his standards then is very decent. And this is worth 119.53. So if he gets this, they'd go on to just about 232 and a third, and they would lead. No guarantee they would lead at the end of the second round. Saudi Arabia 2 would still have a good shot at that. Ibrahim Mustafa is going for an effort of 151 shortly. Bit of mental arithmetic. Colombia will lead at the end of this second round if he gets this. There's nothing that could surpass him. It's not the heaviest attempt in this round. Still quite a few more to come, but this is a very reliable points getter, and that for Johnny Morales is 119.5 points. He lifts 140, and Johnny Morales has done his job well. The Pan Am silver medalist, the reigning America's champion from this year in St. Louis. Excellent for Johnny Morales. That was a tremendous effort. It's going to be very tight if everybody gets their lifts in. It's going to be immensely tight at the end of this round, but Colombia top 232.37. This is Ibrahim Mustafa for Saudi Arabia 2. An attempt at 151, which is worth just about 107 points, and if he gets it, they go to 224, which would be 8 behind Colombia. UAE are trying to reach 215.9. So Colombia is setting a great standard, and it's just to get into the top 4 here. So it's to avoid being last, which is what the UAE are targeting. This to break beyond the 200 barrier. He finished top of Group B in his final, and actually did very well. He finished 5th overall in the men's 72 kilo decider. The Asia Oceania bronze medalist in 2005. The IWAS bronze medal. He's been mainly on the World Cup circuit since. So here he is in the World Cup circuit in his first ever team competition for 151. Ibrahim Mustafa. It is no lift. Oh my word. And Ibrahim Mustafa has lifted 161. He got all of his lifts in his individual final, and that is the first miss of the competition. He does not get it. It is 2-1 against. And Saudi Arabia 2 remain on 117, and suddenly we finally have a miss in the competition. That was the 24th lift of all of the team events, and that is the first miss. That is hard lines on Ibrahim Mustafa. The United Arab Emirates and Adel Shanbi. Bronze in the 88 kilo final. He's going big here. This for 180 and 113.9 it's worth. He's been in 4 World Championships, waiting his first top 10. He lives in Dubai, so I would imagine he should be in next year's Worlds. He generally qualifies. He finished 14th in the last 2 World Championships, so he'll be here. 5th in the Asian Para Games, last time they were held in Jakarta in 2018. Remember, that's on late next year in Hangzhou. 6th in this year's Asia Oceania Championships. Junior world record holder once upon a time. So Adel Shanbi ready. His lift of 180 for 113, and they would go high up the standings if he gets this. They'd go up to 215. They would go into second place, and the gaps are emerging slightly. Saudi Arabia missed out badly with their last attempt. They'd have been on 223. They'd have been in second place. Instead they're last, and it's hard to see them going through now because they've had a miss. Meanwhile, that excellent lift by Adel Shanbi has the host, the United Arab Emirates, into second place at the end of the second round. Well, that was an exquisite lift, and it's a big let-off for Chile, who in terms of the first 2 rounds of attempts would be bottom if everybody had been successful. But because Saudi Arabia 2 were not, through poor old Ibrahim Mustafa, it is Colombia who lead on 232, United Arab Emirates second on 215, Saudi Arabia 1, third on 189, and Chile in fourth on 188. Saudi Arabia 2, who have had a miss, are now fifth and last on 117.53, and as I reiterate, they'd be on 224 now if they had had that lift. And Chile, who are in fourth place, have got one of the real greats, one of pound for pound the best lifters around, one Carlos Garrido. So first to go for Saudi Arabia 2. It's just a bit disheartening, isn't it, for this man Mutab Abu Adhayan, who basically has to get this lift in, otherwise they are definitely out, and even if he does get it, they're out anyway. Probably. They're praying for someone else to miss now. This will be worth 86.64. I would send them up to third place, and they would be on 204.1.2. But Mutab has to get this. It's as simple as that. Finished 7th with 130 in his 80 kilo final. So needs to get it, simple as. And the pressure is well on. Haven't seen him in a major championship before. Oh, and the stop sequence has done for him, and Saudi Arabia 2 are out, and they had actually scored more than Saudi Arabia 1 in the opening round, and with all of their points coming through, they'd have finished on about 300, which would be very healthy, and they would have probably qualified. But they've missed 2 of their 3 attempts. There was a lot of pressure on Mutab Abu Adhayan, and he is out. He cleared 130 in his individual final. He had 2 further attempts of 136. So 131 was actually beyond what he achieved in his individual final. Yahya Bawab now for Saudi Arabia 1. So basically, this is just to determine the 1, 2, 3, 4. We know who the teams will be, it's just the order. And he's going for 145 here. Is Yahya Bawab. .88. Saudi Arabia are on the way to the final. They've already amassed 189.8, and this would send them up to 280 virtually. And they would take the lead, but they are only the second side out of the 5 to lift in this final round. He missed out in the final of the 97 kilo. Didn't register a mark, unfortunately, in that. Going here for 145 for his first successful lift of the week, and it is. Well, that's a nice bit of confidence. And Yahya Bawab clears it. It was 2-1 against the West Asian Games bronze medalist in 2017, and he's had a top 10 finish in the Dubai World Cup, which he was sadly not able to repeat here, but he has cleared that, and he sends Saudi Arabia up to a final score of 280.73. And they for now lead with 3 to follow. So now the third and final attempt for Chile, and this is the bronze medalist in the 65 kilo final, the reigning Americas and Pan Am champion, the World Championship bronze medalist, the Paralympic 4th placer, the 3-time Americas champion, so he has won at the Americas Championships in all 3 in the modern running of the sport that have been held. The man from Santiago. He is 42 now, and he's aiming for a whopping 170 here. $125.75 his target. And if he gets this, they go up to 314, and it would be the highest score, and it would be very difficult really for anybody to overtake that. It was bronze here, and it could have been higher. If he comes out of a competition with a bronze, it can always have been higher. This brilliant campaigner, Garrido, up for 170. Yup, good lift. 3 white lights. Did you ever doubt it? Brilliant lift by Garrido. And Chile rocket up to the top of the standings. 314.46. And obviously they have options to go higher if they wish in the next round. Garrido with the bronze in the 65 kilo final, where he went as high as the new America's record of 191, so he can go way higher than that. A reminder that if he went for 192 there and lifted it, it would not count as a new America's record. They come in individual competition only.
Welcome to the stage, the legendary.
It is Mohamed Khalaf, the 97 kilo bronze medalist. He's going for 205 here. The Asian Games champion in 2014. Fourth in the Asia Oceania Championships this year. Silvers in the four prior to that. The Paralympic champion in Athens in 04, in Rio in 2016. Twice a World Championship silver medalist, and he didn't finish that final in Tokyo. There were major mishaps for him at the start. So 205, and this is worth a tremendous amount of points. They are obviously already through. They're down in fourth place. This to send them skywards. It's for 126.8. And they would take the lead, and they do take the lead. A good lift from Mohamed Khalaf, and they go up to 342.71 with one lift to come. And Colombia fancy being up around that mark as well. What a tremendous lift that was. So now the last lift of these heats. We've had two misses for Saudi Arabia, two who've been eliminated. Colombia in fourth are going into the semi-finals. They lie on 232 points. This is worth 117. So they would go to the highest score. They would be pretty much just past 350. It is the America's champion, the joint America's champion, Eglain Mena, who finished 8th in the over 107 kilo final here. He's the heaviest in body weight of the competitors, 114 kilos, going for 205, so that's worth 117.9. Look at those scores, very impressive. So they will be the highest scorers of the lot, should they get this. $310, by the way, is what Saudi Arabia 2 would have got if they had got all the marks in. Saudi Arabia 1, if everybody was successful, would have been the side eliminated. Instead it's Saudi Arabia 2 because of their two misses. So Colombia in fourth, this to go first in the heats. Eglain Mena finished 8th here in the final of the men's over 107 kilo decider. 205, an immense weight, and he has lifted it. It is a good lift. It's 2-1 in his favour, and Colombia go top of the standings, 350.28. Good lifts all the way through, apart unfortunately for the two missed by Saudi Arabia 2, who have gone out. Colombia top of the pile, and that was really tremendous, powerful lifting. Colombia top, 350 after this. Look at that. No problems at all. So we'll have a draw for the semi-finals and a draw for the next set of referees. Top of the pile in 350, UAE second on 342, third Chile in 314, fourth is Saudi Arabia 1, 280.73, and fifth for Saudi Arabia 2 with 117.5. Very dusty around here for some reason. Sandy. So we've had the draw for the semi-finals. It will be Colombia against the United Arab Emirates, and it will be Saudi Arabia 1 against Chile. And the teams being reintroduced. Chile, first of all, Juan Carlos Garrido, Javier Jimenez, Ebe Leighton, in that order, left to right. And for Saudi Arabia, Yahya Bawab, Saeed Hazawi, and Nasil Al Hazawi.
Saudi Arabia, Yahya Bawab, Saeed Hazawi, and Nasil Al Hazawi. And now representing Team Chile. Representing Chile, Israel Sanchez. Representing Chile, Javier Ignacio Jimenez Cabrera. And lastly, representing Chile,
Juan Carlos Garrido, who medalled again here. America's record of 191. He missed out in the opening round at 185, but he lifted here 170. That new America's record of his is 191, beating the mark of another Chilean, Jorge Caranao, and it was set here at last year's World Cup, June of last year.
Let's meet our athletes from that chain. Competing in that chain will be the United Arab Emirates versus Team Colombia.
And the other semi-final will be the United Arab Emirates against Colombia.
Let's welcome the athletes to the stage.
Colombia outscored everybody. They outscored the UAE by 8 points in the semi-final, so they're well matched here. There are a couple of kilos that the UAE will need to add on. Chile outscored Saudi Arabia by 34 points, by the way. So Saudi will need to scale up a lot. For the UAE, Mohamed Khalaf, Adel Shanbi and Fahad Mohammed. And for Colombia, it is Juve Mondragon, Eglain Mena and Joni Morales. No medals won here from the Colombian squad, but they had the highest scorers. And they put the strong men in. Wasn't the heaviest combined lifts in the opening round. That was actually by UAE. A combined lift of 550. Colombia had a combined lift of 520. But it's down to points that this is decided. Yeah, it's only 8 points between them. They are really well matched, and that should be a belting semi-final. So should the other one be as well. And now we'll find out who the referees will be for these semi-finals. Asam Al-Zubi's out again, along with Yasser Musla and Martin Chapla. Is there a contest that Asam hasn't been in charge of yet today? So Asam Al-Zubi from Jordan, Yasser Musla from Yemen, and Martin Chapla from Slovakia. No, Machab Malaysia is the technical controller. So we're ready to go, and it will be the first semi-final between Saudi Arabia and Chile will go first with Ebbe Leighton. Now, he lifted 95 in the heats, and he is going for 97 here. So Ebbe Leighton, who lifted 95 in the heats, is going for 97 here, so it'll be worth more points, 82.92. Leighton, a reminder, was 11th in the 49 kilo decider, but he did win silver in this year's America's Championships, his major championship debut coming last year at the World Championships in Tbilisi, where he finished 20th from Iquique, right up in the north. Previously a para swimmer, and aiming for Santiago next year in the Pan Ams, aren't we all? So, Ebbe Leighton going for 97. And that's a good lift as well. He gets 83 points more or less on the board. Chile scored 314 in the heats, Saudi Arabia 280, and already Chile are getting more on the board. Saudi Arabia are going to have to do that as well, and I see that they are. That was a very impressive lift. The next lift will be 151 for Asil Al-Hazawi, who lifted 146 in the heats. That was worth 101 points. This is worth 105.18, 7th in the 72 kilo final. Formerly silver in the IWAS Junior Championships in 2014, 7th in this year's Asia Oceania Championships. He misses so far in this competition this morning, but coming from Saudi Arabia too, who were eliminated at the end of the heats. Al-Hazawi 151.92. this is worth 105.18, and Saudi Arabia would go into the lead 105 to 82.9. That's if everybody gets their marks, of course. Al-Azawi has got that. It is a good lift. 2 white lights. And Al-Azawi puts Saudi Arabia into the lead after this opening round. So that's round 1 done, and into the second round. And it's going to be Chile to go first, and Javier Jimenez, who's looking for 130. That'll be worth 107.5, as he got in the previous round. Said Al-Sawi will be going for 144, which is 4 more than he'd got last time. Be worth 90.66. So if these 2 lifts are good, then there will be practically nothing between the sides. Saudi Arabia will be on 195.84. Chile will be on 190.43. I make it. Saudi Arabia would slightly lead, but that with Juan Carlos Garrido to come. But first, Javier Jimenez has to get this. 7th in the 54 kilo final. The America's bronze medalist in St. Louis in July, and 4th in Bogota 4 years ago. Had been based in Viña del Mar on the coast, just up from Valparaiso. Lives in Santiago now, and he's a former wheelchair tennis world tourista. 130, Javier Jimenez. This is worth 107.5 points, and that is a good lift. Well, it sends their score heading to around 190.43 it is for them now. Saudi Arabia are making a good contest of this, but they have to keep getting the marks in. For the Chilean team, they're going for largely the same marks they did last time. Leighton added 2 onto the bar. Jimenez went for the same. What Juan Carlos Garrido goes for it. He's going to add a 5 on, 175. That's going to force Saudi Arabia up even higher, if they're to stand any chance at all. Said Al-Sawi, 8th in the 88 kilo final. The man from Mecca, 4th in the West Asian Games in 2017. Al-Sawi went up to 151. But needed 2 attempts to get it. 145, then 151 he missed, and 151 he got in Group B of the 88 kilo final, finishing in 8th spot. This would be worth 90 and 2/3, 90.66, and they would lead marginally. They'd be on 195.84. So Saeed Asawi, this is an important one at 144, and whatever about the points they need to get the lift, and they have. 3 white lights for Asawi, and they still lead 195.8 against 190.4. Saudi Arabia in front. And with 1 lift to go. And the pressure is going to be really on. It will be Saudi Arabia who will lift next. It has to be the case because of Yahya Bawab's lifetime best, which is less than what Juan Carlos Garrido is going for. They haven't nominated a mark yet. He lifted 145 in the heats, did Bawab. 3 misses at 150 in his individual final at 97 kg, and he's going for 151 here, and that is significant. This is worth 94.65, to be followed by an attempt of 175 for Juan Carlos Garrido. That is worth just about 130 points. So if Garrido gets this lift, which we'll see in around 5 minutes, then Chile are through. They will have won. This lift for Saudi Arabia is worth 94.65, so they would be on around about 290. Chile on 190, looking to go to 329. So Yahya Bawab 151, and this is a big ask for the World Cup regular. And well, he's going for something by his standards very big, so good luck to him for doing that. The lifetime best I can find for him is 125 in international competition. He had 3 attempts at 150 in his individual final, and he did not get them. He needs to get this to put Saudi Arabia well into the lead. But whether he gets this or not, they will still lead with 1 attempt to go. That is for Chile, for Juan Carlos Garrido. And if he gets that, then Chile win. Whether Bawab gets this or not. So Yahya Bawab for Saudi Arabia. This is the one, 151. They need this. It is a good lift. It is a lifetime best by 26 kilos. Magnificent. Saudi Arabia finish on 290.49. It was a tremendous effort, but because of the mathematics, whether he had got this or not, it was down to the next lift we're going to see. And Juan Carlos Garrido has actually decided to roll it back from 175 to 170. This is a lift which is worth 125 points, and it would win it for Chile and send them into the final. Juan Carlos Garrido. Twice Pan Am champion, 3-time America's champion, South American champion in 2014. I don't think that's actually been held since. Bronze in the last 2 World Championships, 4th in the Paralympic Games. This for the win. So here he is on the brink. To get them into the decider. 125 points available here, 170 the lift. His America's record is 191. That was always achievable. He sends Chile into the final, 316.17. It's higher than their mark in the heats, where they were the 3rd highest scorers. They know they can go on further. And Chile win. A very, very good lift from Juan Carlos Garrido. Chile 316, Saudi Arabia 290 the final score, and Chile advance to the final to face either Colombia or the United Arab Emirates. It's Colombia against the United Arab Emirates, the 2 highest scorers in the heats. Colombia scoring 350, the UAE 374. I think they'll both have slightly higher horizons in this semi-final. And it is the same lifting order for Colombia as in the heats. Juve Mondragon, Johnny Morales and Eglain Mena. And the UAE are going with Fahad Mohammed first. Adel Shanbi. And then it will be Mohamed Khalaf, as you can see. That's not the lifting order, by the way, that you see there, but the names are right. So it is the UAE to go first, and Fahad Mohammed going for 170. This will be worth 105.10. Now in the previous round in the heats he went for 165 and he got it. He finished 8th in the 97 kilo final. Successfully lifted 174 there, so this for 170 for the UAE. It'll be manageable, but of course you come into a weight like this, it is a one-off weight for everybody, and Mohammed has got it. For the UAE, it is a good lift. It's 105 on the board for them. Straight off. Excellent lift from Fahad Mohammed. And as we saw with Saudi Arabia's B team, Saudi Arabia 2 in the heats, you just don't want to miss out a lift by any stretch of the imagination. 12:30 in the afternoon in Dubai. The Football World Cup final is on at 7 p.m. here. Across the Gulf in Doha. So this is the first World Cup of the day that we're seeing round off here. Huve Mondragon going for 177. This will be worth 114 points. Mondragon, who finished 4th in the 88 kilo final, you'll remember, in his major international debut. Well, it's a World Cup, so international debut full stop. We'll see him in a major championship probably at the Pan Ams next year. World Championships maybe too. I mean, he's done great to almost get on the podium here. This is worth 114 points. He is 32, the former athlete, and he ends up going into this sport, as so many do from other sports, because they all do a bit of bench pressing anyway. It's a natural part of the training. Huve Mondragon, 177. This to put Colombia into the lead by 9 points. And he has done it. Mondragon 177, they are on 114 points, and the UAE now on 105. Mondragon successful, and he scored 114. Next to come will be Adel Shanbi with 180. It can't be, it'll be Johnny Morales with 142 for Colombia. Now he lifted 140 in the heat, the man who finished 5th in the 49 kilo final. And this will be worth 121.24. UAE through Adel Shanbi will be going for 180, which is worth 113. So if the lifts are successful, Colombia will go on to 235.3. The UAE 219 dead. But they are adding kilos on where they can. Johnny Morales. Ready, willing and able is the America's champion. Claimed that title this year, silver in Peru, in Lima in the Pan Ams 3 years ago with Carmen Elisa Zuluaga on stage with him. So this is worth 142 kilos and 121 points, and they'd go on to 135. And they would continue their lead. Remember, they outscored the UAE by 350 to 342 and a half. Those decimal points might be very, very useful in a few minutes' time. So, Johnny Morales, 142, 121 points up for grabs. He's in the lightest weight division, hence it's a lot of points. 142 by Morales, that is strong. That is very strong. That is a good lift. Well, he went to 146 in his individual final. He's gone to 142 here. It is a good lift. 235 points for Colombia. And the UAE continue to play catch up. Exceptional lifting. That is a tremendous lift for Honey Morales. And for the UAE, it is Adel Shanbi. He's going for 180 here, which he got in the heats. It's worth 113.9. The bronze medalist in the 88 kilo final here in Dubai. Yet to win a championship medal. Being coached long term by Tito Kassem, Fawzi Abdel, Kadir Al Makri and Adel Wisha. So this is Adel Shanbi for 180. And it goes without saying he needs to get this, and he has. Any miss, and it will be costly, because obviously the opposition can then go for something much lighter and then just glide into the final. So well secured by Adel Shanbi. Colombia lead the United Arab Emirates by 235 to 219. And we've got one attempt to go. Eglain Mena is going for 215. I'll tell you straight away, that's worth 123 points. So basically what Mohamed Khalaf's going to have to go for is, it's going to have to be huge. Khalaf went for 205 all the same. So it was 126.8 that he scored in the heats, Mohamed Khalaf. And he's going for 215 here. Eglain Mena also going for 215. They both went for 205 in the heats. And it will be Mohamed Khalaf who will go first. So if he gets this, it's worth 132 points. Eglain Mena, if he gets his, is worth 123. And Eglain Mena has got the calculator out, and he's going to go for 210. So it's going to be Eglain Mena who's going to go next, actually, for Colombia. It was due to be Mohamed Khalaf, but they are allowed change late, and it will be Eglain Mena who'll go now. He lifted 205 in the heats. That was worth 117 points. So he's going to go for 210 instead here. I'm afraid that means there'll be a change in the tunnel. So it'll be worth 120 points this. They've calculated this one well, Colombia. For 120.78, this is worth 210. And it would put them on to 355, and if Khalaf gets his lift, it will be worth 352. So the UAE actually should add a couple more kilos onto their mark. Get the calculators out. Colombia preempted them very well. So going for 210, he was thinking about 215. It definitely would have been a winner, but 210 is more manageable for him. He lifted 205 in the heats, worth 117. That would be too low, I think. For the man who finished 8th in the over 107 kilo final yesterday. Lifted 218, going here for 210. For 120 points to go to 355. And the UAE, Mohammed Khalaf at the moment is going to do 215. They are going to have to recalculate and move him to 219 or 220, because I don't think that's going to be enough for him. Eglain Mena to get a strong lead for Colombia, and that is a good lift. 3 out of 3, and Colombia climb to 356.15. So that's 356. Mohammed Khalaf is going to go for 215. That's worth 132 points. And that would send them to 352. Whereas if you went for 220, that'd be worth 136 points. It still would be one short. Khalaf bronze in the 97 kilo final by lifting 220, and if he went for that, they would be a point short. He would need 221, I think, in order for it to go to decimal points. This won't be enough. Colombia have won this semi-final, by my reckoning anyway. $215 for Mohammed Khalaf. Bronze in the 97 kilo final here, where he had that new Legends Asian record, which he took away from Mutaz Al Junaidi. It was 216. Actually took it away from Tara Al Ali, because he'd gone to 218, and then with the very next lift in the competition, Mohammed Khalaf went to 220. That was won with a new world record, 255, from Abdul Karim Mohammed Khattab. So 215 for Mohammed Khalaf, and that is worth 133 points. So here he is, Mohammed Khalaf. It is a good lift for the UAE. 3 lifts out of 3, and they finish a point shy of 352. Colombia win it. An excellent lift from Mohammed Khalaf, who had lifted 205 in the quarterfinals. Between them all, they had added, I think, 15 kilos to their various marks, which was good, but it wasn't enough. They scored 342.71 in the heats. Colombia had scored 350.28, and the UAE scored 351.99 here. But Colombia, they rose well also. 356.15. You saw the score there. The final will be Chile against Colombia. Well, what a display this has been. Saudi Arabia getting their team into the bronze medal match where they'll face the United Arab Emirates, and the final will be between Colombia and Chile. We're into the bronze medal match, and it is Saudi Arabia against the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia, who lost by 26 to Chile. United Arab Emirates, who were beaten by 4.16 by Colombia.
Representing the United Arab Emirates, Fazza.
So the UAE Fahad Mohammed, Adel Shanbi and Mohammed Khalaf. Saudi Arabia, Yahya Bawab, Saeed Hassawi and Asil Al-Hassawi in this bronze medal contest. So, all ready for this bronze medal match. And now, Colombia against Chile in the final. This is going to be really nice, well-paced final. Chile against Colombia in the men's final. Juan Carlos Garrido, Javier Jimenez and Heber Leighton for Chile. In that order, they're the three. The Chilean trio for the upcoming final. Colombia have been the highest scorers so far in every round. Will it remain the same in the ultimate round? Uwe Mondragon, Tony Morales and Eglain Mena are the three who have impressed all the way through so far. They are really determined and ready to roll. Colombia.
The winner of this matchup will be a gold medalist.
So that's the gold medal match. Before that, it is the bronze medal match between Saudi Arabia and the UAE.
Let's meet our referees for this session.
And the last task before the final is to see who the referees will be. And there we have it. It's Yari Line, Nosea Mohammed and Yu Jin Lee of Finland, Malaysia and South Korea respectively for the medal matches. So all ready to see where the medals are going to go. So our referees line up. Yari Laina is the centre referee, by the way. Nasir Mohammed is on the left. So here we go. The bronze medal match first, Saudi Arabia against the UAE, then Colombia, Chile in the battle for the gold.
The bar is now loaded for their first attempt representing the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
So Saudi Arabia to go first in this bronze medal matchup. And Asil Al-Azawi, who got a lifetime best of 151 in the semi-final, going for a new lifetime best of 152 here. And in terms of the scores in the semi-final, Saudi Arabia scored 290, UAE 352. And this is worth 105.87. Al-Asawi has got all his marks so far, 146 in the heats, 151 in the semi-final, and this 152. So Al-Asawi, 152. He's gone for the heaviest lift of his career, and it is a good lift, and he is having a nice week now, and a very good team competition. Al-Azawi 152. Saudi Arabia start off with 105.87. It will be, one way or another, a marginal lead for Saudi Arabia at the end of this round if everyone's successful. Al-Azawi gets it. Nice lift. You remember all the misses he had for 150 in the individual final. So for the UAE, Fahad Mohammed has got all his marks so far, 165 in the heat stage, 170 in the semi-finals, and going for 170 again. So this is worth 105.1, Saudi Arabia on 105.87. So tight, definitely. So, to put the UAE on the board, and that is a good lift as well from Fahad Mohammed. 8th in the 97 kilo final. He has succeeded, and the UAE trail by fractions. One world championship to his name, 20th in Tbilisi last year at the Worlds, 8th in the Asia Oceania Championship finals. As he has scored well here, Fahad Mohammed, and 170, that's 105.11. Yeah, 105.87. next round. Said Al Asawi going for 145 as you see, and Adel Shambi 180. That'll be worth 91.29 for Asawi. Shambi's 180 is going to be worth 113, so it would be a considerable lead for the UAE by this stage. Having to wait a little bit, Said Asawi, 145 he's going for. 144 he got in the semi-finals and 140 in the heats. 8th and the 88 kilo final was Asawi. So this to keep Saudi Arabia in the hunt. It's worth 22.5 less points than what Shambi is going for now, but he's... well, you have to get all of these lifts in. Worry about what you're doing and not the opposition. This is worth 91.29, and if he gets it, he goes on to 197 points for Saudi Arabia, with the UAE to come next on 105, looking to go to 219. But first, Asawi for Saudi Arabia. That is strong lifting from Saeed Asawi. Yes, good lift, 145, he picks up those 91 points, and Saudi Arabia move up to 197 points. Saudi Arabia, this Saudi Arabian team have not missed out yet. 197.16. So, Adel Shambi up next, who is used to lifting 180 in this competition, is what he's gone for in every round. Scored 113.9 in every round, and if he does the same here, then it will be 220 odd points. For the UAE, he's going for 113.9, so you can add 114 onto the tally. It's easier. I think it'll be 219.01, I think. Has to get the lift first though. Bronze in the 88 kilo final, as you remember. Mentioned it enough times today, so if you don't remember it by now, then I can't help you. 180, 186 and 188 he lifted in that. He won the total lift. Finished third in total behind Mohamed Hajali on 200, and for Wojciech Watus of Poland on 192. Adel Shambi was third on 188. So here he comes for 180, Adel Shambi. And that is a good lift. So he's got all of his marks in the competition, and the UAE climbed to 219 points. Saudi Arabia have 197 with one lift to go each. And that puts the pressure back on Saudi Arabia with one round to go. The UAE are firmly in the box seat. They lead by 24. Which basically means they've 24 points to give away and a few kilos to give away in the next round if they wish, because that's what Chile did cleverly with Garrido, and what Colombia did with Eglain Mena. They went for 5 kilos less, a few points less, meant the winning margin was less, but they got a more manageable lift. There's only been 2 misses in the entire competition, and that was from Saudi Arabia's second side. So Yahya Bawab going for 151, and he's coming now. A new lifetime best for him in the previous round in the semi-finals, and 151 is worth 94.65. We'll put them ahead with the attempt to Mohamed Khalaf to go, and Mohamed Khalaf is going a lot lower than he did previously. It was 215 that he went for in the semi-final, worth 133 points. He'd have had to go for a Legends World Record, which wouldn't have counted as that, but it would have had to surpass the mark he had a couple of days ago in his individual event in order to put the UAE into the final. He didn't do that. Mohamed Khalaf going for 200 later on. Yahya Bawab for Saudi Arabia. So, aiming for a match of his lifetime best from the semi-final of 151. Remember, his lifetime best was 125 coming into the competition. He'd 3 goes of 150 in his individual final, missed them all. Got 145 in the heat series, that was a lifetime best. 151 in the semi-final, a lifetime best, and going for 151 again here. And if he gets this, they will climb up to 292 or thereabouts, just a shade under it. The same mark as the semi-finals. West Asian Games bronze 5 years ago. Top 10 finish in the 2018 edition of this. So Yahya Bawab, this is worth almost 95 points again. He got this in the semi-final. To do it for a second time, for another equaling of that lifetime best. He feels good. Oh dear, it's no lift. It's 2-1 against from the side referees for the stop sequence. And the United Arab Emirates win the bronze medals, and Saudi Arabia miss out in 4th place with 1 lift to go for the UAE. That would have put Saudi Arabia into the lead. 291 to the UAE's 219, with a massive walloping lift to come from Mohamed Khalaf. But it is the stop sequence, and from the side it didn't look right to either side referee. He is denied, I'm afraid, and so Saudi Arabia, and it's only the 3rd miss of the entire competition, and it's all against Saudi Arabian sides. So Mohamed Khalaf can skip this if he wants, but he is waiting.
The bar is now in, representing the United Arab Emirates for the final lift of the bronze.
The United Arab Emirates have the bronze even before this. This is worth 123.71. And they have won it already, 219 to Saudi Arabia's 197. Saudi Arabia's final score is set. Bawab, with that unfortunate late miss, he has had 2 lifetime bests in this team competition, so you can't say that he's not provided. And of course, if he got a lifetime best, even if it was 155 and he had been successful with it, this to win anyway for Mohamed Khalaf. It's worth 123.7, and it would send the UAE to 342. So they'd win anyway with this. It's just a bit of pressure would have been on him in order to succeed. But he's gone much heavier than this in his career. Gone much heavier than this today. 215 in the semi-final. This is 200 here for Mohamed Khalaf. And the United Arab Emirates have a clean sweep of their lifts throughout the entire competition. Mohamed Khalaf gets 200. It's 123 points. 342 they finish on, and they win the bronze medal. Saudi Arabia finish on 197.16. So that is the victory. The final score, 342 for the UAE, 197 to Saudi Arabia. Now it is the gold medal match. It's Colombia against Chile. Mondragon, Morales and Mena is the lifting order for Colombia. Heber Leighton, Javier Jimenez, Juan Carlos Garrido the lifting order for Chile. Colombia outscoring everybody. 350 in the heats, 356 in the semi-final. Heber Leighton is the first to go for Chile, and he's looking to lift 97, which he did in the semi-final, and that is worth 82.92. Chile with a whole load of America's medalists. So 97 his target. This for 82.92. Uwe Mondragon going for 177 kilos, which will be worth 114. So, Heber Leighton in this final, the America's silver medalist this year, the Chilean champion, one of the top nations in powerlifting, and that is another good lift. He gets 97, he gets 82.92, and Chile are off the mark in this final. Neither of these two nations have missed a single effort yet. And this has got the makings of a very, very good final. Very, very early in Chile and Colombia. Basically, it's still going to be Saturday night, so I hope you've stayed up for it. So Uwe Mondragon will come next, 177 for Colombia, which will be worth 114 points. Uwe Mondragon, and it's been Great to have him aboard. His first international event for the former athlete. And we've seen a few new names for Colombia here. And they have been impressing. Great run in the women's team final, which we won't spoil for you if you haven't seen it yet, but go and see it. Mondragon, who's been setting all sorts of lifetime bests this week. 187 he lifted in the final, 1 kilo off Adel Shanbi of the UAE and the bronze. But the UAE and Shanbi have already been dispatched. It's bronze for them in this men's team competition. Colombia and Chile fighting for the gold. Mondragon, 177 for 114 points, and that is a good lift. It's 3 white lights, and Colombia lead by 114 to 82. Colombia scored 356 in the semi-finals, Chile 316. In the heats it was 350 to 314 in Colombia's favour, so they can scale down a bit if they need to. They have a bit of a margin already. In terms of history, Chile are going to have to go for marks that are a bit heavier than what they've already done earlier in the competition. And we'll see that from Javier Jimenez in a moment. That was a decent lift, 135 Jimenez is going to go for. He got 130 in the semi-final, which was worth 107.5. And this is going to be worth 111.65. That's a nice leap in terms of the points differential. So Javier Jimenez is coming now, the America's bronze medalist this year, based in the capital these days, the National Centre. Tony Morales will be going for 140 a little bit later. This will be worth 119, which will extend the lead because this is for 111. That's presuming all of these lifts are going to be good. We're very positive around here. Javier Jimenez, who finished 7th in the 54 kilo final here, but he is one of the best in the Americas, looking to break into the Pan Am team again. He was in the last one, so I don't think it'll take much breaking. They'll probably be very happy to pick him. He finished 5th in Lima. That'll make him competitive for Santiago and the inspiration of lifting in front of a home crowd. 135 for Javier Jimenez. This is worth 111 points, and it is a good lift. Jimenez and Leighton both succeeding. That's worth 194 for them. Colombia on 114, but with a lift in hand. But that's a lot of happiness for Javier Jimenez, no doubt about that, and their national team coach here, Jaime Echeverria. And that was a really good strong lift. Chile have not missed yet. Now Joni Morales going for 119 points and a half, 140. This is what he lifted in the quarterfinals. 5th in the 49 kilo final. The Americas champion in St. Louis this year in July. The Pan Am silver medalist 3 years ago in Lima. With Carmen Zuluaga on stage with him. So if he gets this, 119.5 points, they'd go to 333.66. Actually, I'm giving them too much credit. It'd be 233.66. That scoreline was just too perfect. Chile on 194. Colombia would go to all the twos. So, Joni Morales for 140, worth 119.5 points. Higher than any mark that Chile have got so far in this final. And he has it. Well, that's a big lead for Colombia. Morales and Mondragon have delivered 233 against 194.5, and the lead is an impressive 37 points. Well, look at that scoreline. Chile on 194 and Morales, well, what a brilliant delivery. Excellent lift. They are generally going for lifts which are a bit lower than what they're capable of in individual competition, simply because they've got themselves to be responsible for in the individuals, but they've got the rest of the team, so they don't want to go too high and be reckless. Well, Carlos Garrido is going to go for 180. It has to be big in the final round for him, and he is coming. The multiple Americas champion. So he's going for 180. This is his heaviest lift of the entire competition. He's had a couple of 170s so far, but he needs to get this to put Chile into the lead and then force Colombia to stay with a high mark. 133.14 is the tally here. So if he gets this, they're on to 327. And Egline Mena would have to then get his lift for the gold for Colombia. It's gone very big. Always competitive, and that new America's record, remember, that he got in his individual final, 191, so he's 11 kilos off it. He's less than 10% away, so around 93-94% of his America's record from the other day. So he's showing great commitment here, trying to mop up as many points as possible. Garrido 180 for 133 points. He's got that raised. Yes! He gets it! 133 for Chile. They go to 327 points, and Colombia are going to have to lift it out with Egline Mena to get the gold. Well, all 9 of their lifts in the competition have been spot on. 327.71 is the final score for Chile. Colombia on 233. Great lift. Pressure on Garrido. He went high. That's the sort of lift he would go for in his individual final. So the scores on the doors. Mena for Colombia going for 205, that's worth 117 points to put them on 351 for the gold. Eglain Mena. The joint Americas champion. Finished dead level with Juan Castaneda in their final of the over 107 in the Americas Championship in St. Louis. So this for the victory. Mena was going to go for 215 in the semi-final, went for 210 instead and got that. This is for 205. So this is it, this for the gold. Chile lead, Colombia will win if they get this from Eglain Mena. 118 points, 117.91 at stake here for the gold medal. His coach Jefferson pointing skyward. Every justification. Colombia have won it. 351 points against 327, and Colombia take the men's team gold in Dubai. An excellent competition, and we only had in the end 3 misses, all from Saudi Arabia across their 2 teams, unfortunately. Colombia take the gold, Chile the silver, and the UAE, the host nation, get the bronze. $351 against 327, and Colombia get the victory. Victory ceremony is on the way. So the victory ceremony for this men's team competition. Brilliant final between Colombia and Chile. And the United Arab Emirates coming out trumps in the bronze medal match. So, leading the presentation party for this, Dr. Saeed Karbash, the Chief Executive Officer of Arts and Literature Sector in Dubai Culture and Arts Authority. He's presenting the medals and the gifts to be presented by Her Excellency Mrs. Munal Hamad, Board Member of Dubai Club for People of Determination. The United Arab Emirates pick up the bronze. They got all their lifts in. Saudi Arabia did not. They missed the last one. Fahad Mohammed, Adel Shanbi and Mohammed Khalaf getting the marks in. Khalaf with the final lift. Even though there was no pressure on him, he still got it in anyway. UAE were just pipped by 4.16 by Colombia in the semi-final. And each lifter could have added maybe 2 kilos onto the bar to end up with a higher final score. Lost by 356 to pretty much bang on 352 in the semi-final to Colombia. And then they scored 342 themselves, 342.71 to Saudi Arabia's 197 in the bronze medal match. So Mohammed, Shanbi and Khalaf pick up the bronze medals here at the Club for People of Determination. What a great result for the UAE, and they get their own Burj Khalifas as well, which I think is something they're very familiar with. Quite a few of those. Final effort from Mohammed Khalaf. He has had a very fruitful week anyway, with the Legends World Record. The final seeing Chile being beaten by Colombia 351 to 327. They didn't have a single miss in the entire competition. Ever Leighton, Javier Jimenez, Juan Carlos Garrido with that final lift of 180, heading towards his America's record set during the week of 191. He had to go high, he did, but Colombia went higher. America's champions all. Garrido with the bronze here and the new America's record. So silvers for Chile, Colombia, the highest scorers in every round. What a debut for them, particularly. We still have the Burj Khalifas to give out as well. Which for Echeverria, he gets one as well. Coaches all get one, and the medals too. So Chile get the silvers, Colombia too strong. Despite the fact they didn't have a single medalist from the Dubai World Cup individually in this squad there, apart from Juve Mondragon, who's making his international debut here. Tony Morales, the reigning America's champion, and Egline Maynez as well. And Mondragon, you would probably say would be if it wasn't for the fact that he's only come through this week. but he wins the World Cup men's team event. Juve Mondragon, Honey Morales and Eglaine Mena get the medals, and the coach as well. Jefferson Tavares, and also alongside him Carmen Zulaga. Great time Colombia have had. They scored 350 in the heats, 356 in a tightly contested semi-final, and 351.67 in the final. And if they scored that in the semi, they'd have lost by just less than a third of a point to the UAE. Ifs and buts and maybes. None of those in this equation, because Colombia get the gold. So Colombia take the title ahead of Chile, 351 points to 327 in the final, and the UAE beat Saudi Arabia 342 to 197 in the bronze medal match. UAE in the bronze contest outscoring Chile in the final. But what a competition that was. The mixed team final is beginning in 45 minutes. Catch you then.